Rhino beer review. So this video, I'm sure, will not be watched currently. I'm pretty sure this will be a next day viewing. But for those of you that, when I first moved here, I started a job with PV Mart as their assistant store manager. PV Mart had a bunch of Mr. Beer kits on clearance, and some of them were still in date, and then some of them were 4 years past date. And there were IPAs that were 4 years past date. When I made them, the ones that were still in date didn't have the sticker, and the stickered ones were the IPAs. So I've been meaning to open this forever, and I just have not wanted to. I was worried. I'm also worried now opening it that it's going to blow, because it's been sitting on my shelf at basement temperature for months. We put the sugar cubes in and all that stuff to carbonate it and everything. I mean, it does have a little bit of give to it if I squeeze it, so it might not blow. It was supposed to be in the 5 to 6 range. I never did a hydrometer test, so I don't know if this actually fermented out like it was supposed to, but there was enough foam on it that it was fermenting. I know that it was fermenting, I just don't know what it hit. I was doing this with a very minimal doing it with very minimal equipment because we had just moved from the Arctic to here. On top of that, we also added about 50 grams of Nelson Sauvin at 2 different parts of the boil. Now the boil doesn't take very long because this is a Mr. Beer kit. But the question was, on 4 years expired, because it wasn't a best buy, it was just a stamp. So I mean, some could take that as a best buy, some could take it as a used buy, some could take it as a expired on date. But 4 years past date, was the beer still going to ferment? Was the beer still going to be drinkable? I don't know. We'll find out now, won't we? That was the game. Mr. Beer, a cheap, interesting intro to brewing for anyone that hasn't done it. If you've never brewed before and you want to do the steps, you want to take the steps up, you can do a Mr. Beer kit and just do the kit itself. Kit is made by the same people. It's basically a Cooper's kit. You can do a Mr. Beer, and then you can step up to a Cooper's, which is going to be brewed in the buckets, and you're going to do a lot of the same stuff. Then you could step up to a Cooper's again, but where you're editing it. And then you could step up to an in the buckets all malt, and then you could step up to the next style if you wanted to. Or if you like glass carboys, you can do. I just got a glass carboy gifted to me. Yay! I just got to remember to grab from work. Yeah. So here it is. I'm worried, but we're gonna. So there was carbonation. Oh, that is not a good sign. I mean, that could be the huge amount of Nelson Sauvin we put in there. And I remember when I made it, I was like, that is a very dark beer. And it shouldn't have been as dark as that. And that is a very dark beer. That looks like a stout, but it's not a stout. It's supposed to be an IPA. Okay, this one smells possibly like it was infected, but I mean, it's a harsh, almost, it's like a harsh pineapple scent. And I mean, it could be an infection, but an infection should have blown. It shouldn't have been like this. Or it could just be everything working together. Everything was properly sterilized, so it shouldn't be an infection, but it could be. I mean, did something get in this bottle? This house is notorious for dust. So I did sanitize the bottles, then bring them, and then filled them and everything, but something flowed in there. If I'm filming upstairs, you can see dust just rolling. I don't know where the fuck it's coming from. I know that there was 5 dogs and 4 in this house at one point when it was a rental. So what's in my venting, right? Yeah, that's but it smells sour. It smells off. Cheers. Let's try it. I mean, even the color is off. Like, it shouldn't be that dark. And I said that when I poured it in. I'm like, that is dark. Okay. By the smell, it has completely gone. By the taste, it's one of the first craft IPAs out there. And I mean, it shouldn't be with Nelson Sauvin being the hop of choice, but it's very dark. It's very bitter. It's very bitter. Not a lot of notes. Again, Nelson Sauvin usually gives off pineapple and a few other things, but that's very bitter, high alpha acid beer. I still know people that would drink this and enjoy it. I need to get a hydrometer so I can actually find what the ABV on this is, and I have a lot more bottles of it, so I mean I can find that out. But it feels and tastes like it's probably around a 5.2 to 5.3, but the bitterness is real. It's overpowering the back of my palate. And I love Nelson Sauvin. This is making me not love Nelson Sauvin as much. However, at over 4 years past date, it smells off. It looks off in that that's not what this beer is supposed to look like. But it doesn't taste off per se. It tastes bad because I think I added too much hop. I shouldn't have added anything to this to do this test properly. I should have just poured the sludge in, let it ferment, and see what I ended up with. But I didn't do that because I, sir, am stupid. I also used, because the yeast was 4 years past date as well, I bought Nottingham yeast, which leaves a very dry sensation flavor, and this is showing off that it's Nottingham yeast as well. And I was saying to my buddy Chris that I was trying to do a English style pale ale with Nelson Sauvin for no reason other than that's what I could find on YouTube. Not on YouTube, sorry, on Amazon. And he was like, well, Nottingham is probably not your best yeast. I go, no, it's not, but my Nottingham yeast or regular lager yeast or a whole bunch of different champagne yeasts. So I went with Nottingham, and it's very dry and very bitter. So the Nottingham has done what it's supposed to do. It's made this beer very dry. I'm not sold on it. I would not buy this. And I brewed it. I would not buy this. I'm usually very hard on myself when it's a beer I brewed, and I know what the IPA is supposed to look like from this kit, and it's supposed to be about 15 SRM lower than this. It should be like a crisp golden color, sometimes hazy, but a crisp golden color. That is not what I have here. This very deep amber. I love the color, but that's not what I should be getting. So in its time of sitting in the can, it darkened up something fierce. Between the Nelson Sauvin, and the really old liquid malt extract, it's very dry, it's very bitter, and it doesn't smell good. That being said, I could see some really like East Coast IPAs getting behind this guy and being like, that's a good beer. I think you're insane. but I think that there would be people that would do that. That being said, did the beer pass the first inspection, which was it still drinkable? For some people, yes. For me, no. So 4 years date, it's still able to brew a beer. I can feel a little bit of alcohol down in the belly. So I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. That's about all I can say. It did what it's supposed to do. I'm not huge on it, but it is a beer that worked. YouTube for watching. That's all I can say. Would I out of date Mr. Beers again? Sure, but I would probably buy two, and I would try one with nothing added, and then I would add something to the next one after I found out what I needed to add. I shouldn't have just added blindly to this, and I should have thought out my yeast section better than what I did. I was looking at what can I find, because the yeast that came with this will not come back to life. Well, I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say will not. It shouldn't have come to life at the age it was. But you never know for sure. But I wasn't going to waste $20 to find out if it was going to come back to life or not. Will I drink the other 15 bottles of this? No, probably not. Even with the fact that I am a very I like my beer. I'm still not probably going to drink this because there's better beer for me to drink than this. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a au revoir, au bientôt. See you soon. Bye bye. Oh shit! There's comments. There is a lot of black IPAs. We'll do this first, right? There is a lot of black IPAs here in Canada. Normally they're called Cascadians. This wasn't supposed to be a black IPA. The kit, even on the can of the kit, actually, I think I still have one of them. 1 second. Come on! Ow, 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 ow. Sorry guys, I just got all these tools. Is this the one? Okay, so I found it. I did. So even on the can, it's not as golden as I thought, but it's also not black. It's more just starting up the amber hue. You can see it's like that reddish color. Actually, at the bottom it is the golden that I was talking about. But yeah, it is best before stamped for August of 2020. It is November of 2024. So it is 4 years past date. I'm actually contemplating whether or not I want to dump them and do this one and try it with the old yeast. But the old yeast should be dead. But between the Nottingham and the age, that is not the same beer. I mean, you have your booster. You also have your no rinse cleaner, which will let me do another batch. We have, these are also 4 years past date, but your carbonation drops are nothing but sugar in candy form. So once you put those, it's sugar, it's fine. Really down to whether or not the liquid malt extract would be okay or not. And liquid malt extract was okay. So this stuff was originally tagged at $36. Then it tagged to $9.97, and I still ended up getting 20% off the $97. So I bought this for like $8, and it was a test. It was just It was one of those, I want to know, will long play session IPA work or not? The answer is it will ferment. It won't taste of brewing faults. It smells like a brewing fault, but it won't taste like it. But is it something I want to drink? The answer is no. I like beer too. And Brian, have fun at work. I am actually going to bed myself. I have to close the store tomorrow. So you get to see my burnt walls as I go offline. Bye, guys.